Now, today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you a truly unique, it's a new design that I recently went and picked up from Kubey. It's a folder that kind of blurs the line, that separates front flippers from, well, all the other knife designs out there. It's the super fidgety KU344 Momentum. Up on the screen are some specs, and their measurements I went ahead and just took myself, but I'll also have them listed for you down in the description, along with the links to buy, prices, and if there's any coupon codes. Here's a few quick comparisons just so you can get a better idea of the true size of knife we're working with today. So we got the full-size Griptilian, the Andella, of course, the original Elementum, and then the button lock at the bottom. And if this happens to be your first time here, hey, I'm Jay. Thanks so much for stopping by. Go ahead, consider subscribing if you're looking for knife reviews. They get right to the point. Since front flippers are the current trend right now, there's lots of companies that are making them, but for some reason, there's not many of them out there with thumb studs, and there's even fewer with a harpoon blade. In fact, the only other one that I have is going to be this one from Civivi, and it's the Imperium. Now, this is not a Kubey in-house design. It's actually a collaboration with the designer, and his name is Sharif. And man, I apologize for this, Manganis. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen. And to be honest, when I first saw this, I was a little bit worried about the position of these thumb studs because, I don't know, while it's closed, don't they kind of look like they're way too far down there? And if you take a closer look, you can see they are, they are slightly in the cutting path, but not nearly as much as I thought they'd be. And I'll be the first to admit, harpoon blades, not my favorite shape. And it's not that I dislike them. I guess I'm just kind of indifferent, but this blade shape, I actually really like. Because that harpoon part, it's not just there for looks, and you can see it's actually pretty functional. It kind of cradles your thumbs, so you can see it really does help. Oh yeah, holy cow. It really does help with control, while you're cutting through stuff. Even without a true finger choil, you can choke all the way up for a grip that's like nice and close to that 3.43 inch all belly blade. Part of the reason why you're able to do that, choke up so far is because of this like very simple and, well, Freudian kind of handle design. There's no finger grooves or anything, to kind of to limit how you hold it, which means, this should work for you really regardless of your hand size. And not that I've ever had a Kubey blade, rust on me, but I do kind of wish they'd sort of ease up on that bead blast finish. They're putting on all of their D2 blades because when it has happened to me, it was on a bead blasted Kershaw blade, that long ago discontinued Junkyard Dog 2, back when Kershaw was cool. It never fails. Whenever I get a new front flipper, it always it takes me a few minutes, just to figure out like the best way to position my finger to consistently open it. But that, honestly, that was not the case here. I mean, I was able to find my way to Fidget Town pretty quick, and I got the hang of it right away. Even opening the blade, by reaching over the top, that was super easy to do because of that like rounded handle shape, which, now that I'm looking at it, doesn't it kind of look like the handle on a straight razor? But the true beauty of this knife is that you could seriously go your entire life without ever having to even touch that front flipper, if you don't want to, because the thumb stud action, oh yeah, that's where it's at for me. And those things are just the right height for a handle, with a thickness that is a little over a ½ inch, which really does make them pretty easy to get at. I don't know, and I think more fun to use. Once it's open, you can see that liner, that's locking up at a good, solid 35, 40%. And the centering, oh yeah, well, on mine anyways, I mean, that's dead on perfect. And did you notice we also get a jimped lock bar that really does, if you look at it from this angle, you can see it really does stick out far enough to give you plenty of access. I always thought that closing a front flipper was, never really all that satisfying. Just because instead of having like a standard flipper, there's nothing that's there to stop and hit your thumbnail, before you go ahead and close it. Well, Kubey's got that all taken care of too. Let me show you what I mean. So once it's unlocked and you can see that it's in, well, this position, that thing has already, yeah, it's already past the D10 ball. So then all you have to do is go ahead, give it a quick shake. She drops shut. We also got some pretty good traction on these G10 scales. And you know what? If you're not really feeling the camel pattern, hey, that's okay. There are a few solid colors available. There's even, I think, 2 versions with a black wash blade. And man, I got to tell you, I came so close to buying that one. If you ever need to go ahead and disassemble yours, now the pivot is going to take a number 10 Torx. The body screws are T8. And then, of course, the pocket clip, that just has T6s. Speaking of that clip, it's just going to be their standard, deep carry one. But it does have, 2 positions. I sure wouldn't mind a smaller one on here. But hey, that's a minor gripe. Not the end of the world. I guess now would probably be a perfect time to go ahead and talk about, well, what I think is going to be maybe 2 potential deal breakers for some of you. One of the things that I just love most about front flippers is going to be, well, their compact design. I mean, they just ride so nice in the pocket. And, they don't usually take up too much room, which, hey, that's going to be great when you got a bunch of other stuff in there. And for someone like myself that's got, I got one arm that works way better than the other, that slim profile is really appreciated because, by the end of the day, it seems like everything that I friggin' own like winds up in my left pocket. So when you compare this, to other front flippers, what ends up making the Momentum, so unique also makes it kind of bulky. And I realize that just by itself, that might not be so bad, but unfortunately there is a second issue, and it's going to be the almost 4.5 ounce weight. I mean, some of my favorite knives, weigh around that or more, but here in this instance, it really is kind of noticeable. But hey, if neither of those things really bother you, when you're looking for a budget knife that's a little bit different, by all means, go out, pick one up today. I don't always keep every single knife that I review, but you know what? This one I'm going to hold on to. Right now, there's going to be a video up on the screen that I personally went ahead and picked out for you to go ahead and watch next. And hey, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. All right, I got to run, but hey, thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. See you at the next video. Take care.